Midday stock market update. It's August 27th. It's 11:34 a.m. Eastern Time and Rich Pacific critical point. We have new upside objectives triggered from the critical point projection tool. This is not from other forms of tech analysis. This is not from fundamental and some of the other model analysis. At any rate, objectives are 45.24, 45.32, and 45.39. If you need one objective out of that, you always use the middle objective, so 45.32 or thereabouts. I think this is very feasible going into next week. Now, if we then move over to the daily chart here, I plot those levels. In other words, those are calculated from intra-week fluctuation, intraday fluctuation. I put those levels as just a range, low and high. And then I ran the critical point tool for the rally from last week into this week to a high, not today's high, but a high a couple days ago. And this would be how you would normally use the tool for the best accuracy, best probability, where what we're doing is projection within a trend. We're not comparing it to a prior decline. This is not a retracement study. At any rate, what we've come up with is objectives now moving up to 46.05, 46.38, and 46.69, where we had objectives, I believe, in the upper 45s area, and it's now moving it all the way up to 46. I think that's way too high for this move that probably is going to extend higher into mid-September, decline for a week, week and a half, maybe only for a few days if they want to hit it hard and fast. In other words, I think those objectives are probably should be on the chalkboard, if you will, for October into November for either a level 2 or level 1. And again, we keep debating which top do we have. How important is it? And it's frustrating. Doesn't really matter from a tactic point of view. You want to sell it. If you're interested in that kind of trading during a year, some of the bigger swings during the year. So I'm comfortable with that. I just don't think it's going to happen soon. And I just wonder, can this market stall out? It seems like they buy it for a day or two, and they're heavy buyers. They move price a huge amount. Then they keep on buying, but the daily spread starts coming down. The candlestick spread starts coming down. The overall push higher slows. You lose momentum. And, some people are selling into that. It's probably more or less just cautious buyers of do they want to pay a record high. It still concerns me that, we could have a setup for a sell-off. But maybe everybody's just too fearful. And what people have said for probably a century now is that, a good bull market is driven by fear. They're always worried. Isn't driven by it, but it's a component, a characteristic of it. Anyways, I've rattled on enough this week, so sorry for so many updates here. I'm just kind of getting interested in zeroing in on this signal for September, yet at the same time I'm trying not to make too big of a deal of it because I truly believe the market will also be firm or higher into the end of the year, and I think it's a long-term bull market for some time. At any rate, that's what I'm watching now. What I also wanted to give you was the low of today in the futures at 46.62.25. If that's violated in the next, say, 5 days, that would be a sign of a level 3 downtrend. But getting out to 5 days, we would also be saying yes, but we should be looking for a bottom then. So we don't know how bearish that'll be, how useful that'll be, okay? But I think they're probably still going to sell something next week. Now, obviously, they like Powell's statement today. Obviously, that goes against some of his people on his board. But how many times have we seen this? Many times for more than a decade now. Okay, they want to be more open to the public and show some of their debates and differences. And quite often, they have huge differences. We could very well get worried in September that they're going to start taper in October, even though Powell said it'll probably start at the end of the year. Powell did do a good job of explaining to them, we're going to do the taper eventually, but it's going to be a long time yet before we raise interest rates. He really was sending a message, you don't really need to panic here and sell short term and cause complications and fear, okay? Some people are going to do it anyways, okay? Maybe that's part of that September setback. But right now, basically, I think this market has more to go. It's going to pound out some more record highs. And I fully understand why some people are thinking this market's just going to explode. It may well do that yet, okay? I've certainly throttled back here. I've been gung-ho bullish at trying to be like 200% invested almost all the time from last year. And I've had moments where I've had to throttle back and sometimes with a matter of hours find out I made a mistake. And this is kind of one of them right here. I was overreacting and moving too soon ahead of that level 2 top. My conclusion is I don't want to be fully invested in the sense of considerably more than 100% invested here. I'm fine with missing out a maximum profit right now and probably start over in September. But we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind if they give me a nice little dip next week. Maybe if I can run a very close stop, I may start rebuilding with the idea of seeing what I can get into that level 2 top. But frankly, I'm kind of telling myself, hey, I took some profits and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm easing back a little bit. I'm so far ahead of most in the industry here. And so, hey, why don't I just wait for that level 2 and re-enter and start over for a year-end rally. All right, that's all I've got. Hopefully that's the end of the day here. I think it's probably going to close firmly, but just watch today's low. And I ought to give you the cash price to watch would be yesterday's low since the futures turned up overnight. And yesterday's low, see, I got a 74.10 today. Yeah, 44.68.99. Yesterday's low. If it's violated on the cash chart in the next 5 days, that's a sign of a level 3 downtrend. But again, if it takes too long, we may be up against the idea, yeah, but we probably got to buy it, or at least even if we're not buying these level 3 swings, we got to put out some kind of bullish signal there that we could have that next leg higher into mid-September. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. Thank you.